We're gonna run through the Scorch, just put it on the scales, 114 grams, touch sensitive lens as well, so there's a little stainless steel pin that just sits there. Put your finger on that for a second and a half and it will turn it on, and then a 1 second tap will then turn it on to its highest power setting. Tap for low, tap for high, and then press and hold for 1.5 seconds and it will turn it off. Idea and concept behind this was that I saw so many people with these cable-free lights running around on half power just to try and make the battery last the length of a ride. So we've done a plug-in battery here using Brad Harrison top quality connectors with alignment dimples round there, and there's also 3 alignment dimples on the head unit as well. So basically the idea is that you line the battery up, plug it in and screw the collar up. Now it's really important that you don't screw the battery casing there. So it's a plug-in, find out, so you just offer it up, turn it around, when it lines up, plug it in, screw it up, and you're ready to go. And the concept was really for when you're mountain biking, running on full power all the time. So don't compromise your safety or your ride. If you're out for more than an hour and a half, it'll do full power an hour and a half. If you're out for any longer than an hour and a half, buy a spare battery, plug it in, and then you're away full power again. It's not the sort of lamp that you can start changing from high and low to very easily. And when you've got big thick winter gloves on, you know, maybe 3, 4, 5 millimeter thick sort of glove, that lens is not going to sense your finger touch there. Thin pair of summer gloves, you know, 1 millimeter thick type things, and it will still sense that. And some gloves will, with the finger sensor on it, will do it. So that's the idea of it. And when I used to look at these little lights with these little tactical switches that they used to have on the back, they always, you know, give them 3-4 months, they get water penetration in them, they go green, mouldy, they don't work very well. And even when you've got your big winter gloves on there, that you can't, you know, activate them or use them very well anyway. So the idea is, put your light on, works the same as all of the other lights. You just offer it up there, slide it round, click it onto the sprung loaded mount. Now one thing you do have to take into consideration, because you've got a longer battery length sticking out the back there, you may not be able to get it as low as you would like, so you might have to bring the bracket a little bit further up on the crash helmet to get tilt that you need to get that spot right in the right place. I recommend that if you're using the O-ring system there, tap the O-rings underneath your velcro, your padding, and that way you won't feel the O-ring pressing on your crash helmet. The reason for using the O-ring system is that if you do crash into anything, it will give a little bit there, and if it's a really big off, they will snap. There's an O-ring around the back of the battery there as well, and that stops. So when you undo your collar there, that O-ring stops the collar. So if you're worried about the collar coming off, it doesn't, it stops there. It does have auto ramp on it as well. If you get it too hot, it automatically ramps itself down, and then when you get going again, it ramps up. We always use these special nuts on there and bolts so that they always keep tension on the bolts. So when you move that up and down, it doesn't just flop down. They always retain the same amount of tension on them, and you can adjust that as well. So if you want it tighter or looser. Some people use this as a bar light, so you can just use it on the road bike. It underneath a Garmin. Now I do recommend, if you're using the Garmin configuration, there's 2 of these GoPro brackets, and there's different heights on them as well. So the shorter version bracket, GoPro bracket for the crash helmet, and the longer one, the deeper one, we recommend that that's probably going to be better use for going underneath the handlebar, and that's because it's going to drop the light down a little bit and allow you to angle it down onto the road a little bit more. I do also recommend that you use aluminium ones, plastic, printed and whatever like that. I know it's improving all the time, but for just at the minute, I think, you know, I use an aluminium one, because if you hit a pothole, that can put quite a lot of strain on plastic and things like that, whereas aluminium, I think, will take the strain a little bit better. So again, it just slides on there like that, twists back round to the center. That's how it sits. So Garmin on top, and then you can tilt the light down like so. So you use this video in conjunction with the quick start guide and the full manual. Really good thing on the website about how to look after your batteries in the summertime as well, because it's really important to make sure you don't run flat. That's the Scorch.